Hello guys and welcome back to Skul. I have a speedrun for you today, picking up the Wind Armor and 11th Finger of Lightning. I believe I'm going to, there we go, get a nice showing of that. This is post-commentary again. I almost can't do live commentary for these speedruns. I just lose concentration and mess up because I'm so used to my normal Skul videos where I stop and talk about things, and I can't do that for speedruns, so I don't do it. I haven't gotten a speedrun out since, I think my last one was before the Inscription update, so this is my first proper speedrun since then. It's gotten a bit harder since the update. The enemies have more health, especially the bosses. The bosses have more health now, and also with Inscriptions out, you kind of want to think about inscriptions that you have when doing these runs, but sometimes you're prone to overthinking. Like, I'll be too worried about picking up one or two items that have inscription synergies, but at the same time, they're just not great items. I'm thinking too much about inscriptions and not enough about how practical the items are for a speedrun. Dominantly, you just want to take items that are either improving your mobility, like the Wind Armor, Sylphid Wings, or just giving you massive damage, like Thieves Armor. If there's a utility item that you want, it is normally something like cooldown reduction, which is very good and very handy, especially for Rockstar, being able to use his electric slide attack. As we can see, I'm against the adventurer fight, the ninja here, and he's dead. It's as quick as that. But yeah, this is a successful speed run. Most of my other ones fall apart because I make a big mistake. There are mistakes in this run. You've probably seen some already if you're at all familiar with the process of sprinting around and knocking these guys out as quickly as possible. I do make a point of always starting my speedruns with Rockstar if this is the first one of mine that you've seen. Rockstar is, in my opinion, the optimal Skul to start with. Ryder works out really well too, but just in my opinion, Rockstar has the most upfront burst early on for bosses. You can't get unique or legendary skulls at the beginning of a run, like from the hub world, but you can get Rockstar, and he, as you saw with the adventurer fight, murders them incredibly quickly. And he also moves around very fast. The Wind Armor that we started with is one of the optimal items to get at the beginning, so this is a pretty rare run. If I'd gotten Thieves Armor, it would have been even better, but getting Wind Armor is really good. Now, this is a good time to point out that I have started up my Twitch channel again, and will be streaming every Saturday and Sunday, somewhere around 5 to 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or GMT 11, if you're more familiar with that. I have no idea where you are, and I won't be able to help you too much with converting to your time zone, but... What's that? Oh, it's my Twitter. Another place where you can follow me, where you'll get updates on when I go live. Follow me there if you're not too worried about looking up time zones. But anyway, back to it, Yggdrasil fight. Oh, by the way, my Twitch, I'll be streaming Skul dominantly, just doing casual runs, or if I get Rockstar, maybe some speed runs, or whatever you guys want. If you've got some ideas for fun runs for me to try out live and I can make them work, I'll do that as well. But yeah, feel free to come by and hang out. It's fresh, it's new for the most part. Come and let me know what I'm doing wrong in real time. But anyway, that was Yggdrasil. He's down and out. This is another reason why Rockstar is an amazing Skul to pick up for things like this, because with the Rock Band, you are able to destroy bosses. Not as quickly as it was before the Inscription update, but I still think he's very necessary as a start. Now, I didn't have my band for Yggdrasil himself. I'll get to show that off more in the next boss fights coming up. But if you don't have your rock band available for each boss or adventurer fight, it usually just means that you're moving at a very quick pace and you've gone too quickly for the cooldown. Now, I don't have an issue with using my band ASAP after a boss fight, because especially in Act 2 and 3, the regular rooms themselves usually take, well, obviously longer than Act 1, so I expect that by the time I get up to the next adventurer, or even the Lyanna sisters, that the timers will have realigned again because of the extra time it's taken to get through the areas. Picking up Gunpowder Sword and the Axe there just for some extra damage besides the electric slide and the amps, a lot of my damage I do with Rockstar is just his basic attack. So getting a physical damage boost isn't bad, nor is picking up Berserker here. It's not the best skull for speedrunning, not by a long shot, but I did pick it up just looking for something else to give me some extra boom. Because now that we're in Act 2, the enemy's health increase since the Inscription update is showing itself. What am I getting rid of here? The sword. I wasn't getting rid of... Yeah, I know I didn't get rid of the boots there. Item management is another one of my weak points at the moment. Before the update, I think I was faster at it, but since the new UI is out and I'm thinking too hard about inscriptions and synergies, it's like, no, stop. Just go by the item. Damn, look at that. Berserker showing his worth. At first I was worried that I made a bad call, but no, he's good. Now, this is where my words come back to bite me, because I was just talking about how the Rock Band cooldown should even out. But it's not happening here. I got to this adventurer fight way quicker than I expected. But thankfully, though, as you can see on the screen, I don't think I've really suffered or missed out that much, because both of these went down really quick with the help of Berserker. But here we go. We have Arclich coming in. Arclich pops in. He does not have Seal, sadly, which I would have preferred. But having his chains and the what is it, the shadow chains and the ice chains, those are good. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them, and overall I think Lich is just a better upgrade from Berserker. Clearing all the rooms relatively quickly, stunning the maids as much as I can with Rockstar. We don't always get to with the swap in, like right there. I was waiting to call that out. Swapping in with him can be a bit of a pain. If there's any platforms above you, you'll be prone to landing on them. So if I don't have to, I won't worry about it, and I'll just stick to nuking the maids down. It's something that I've mentioned in other runs before, which is, oh wait, picking up the bow. What am I getting rid of here? Yes, the Bone of Courage. Good choice. It wasn't really doing that much for me anyway. But in speedruns, you should consider your health as a resource, something that you can spend to keep doing damage, basically. So instead of worrying, using Band here, instead of worrying all the time about, oh, my health is getting low, it's like, yeah, your health's going to get low because you don't want to waste time dashing around and avoiding attacks. You want to be in their face, doing as much damage as you can to them. My word, that damage was amazing, by the way. And take care of enemies ASAP. You don't want to stand around. That's counterproductive to a speedrun. Because of that, you can often end up pretty close to the brink of death, especially if you haven't got very strong skulls by the end of Act 2 or going into Act 3. But I'm pretty happy with the turnout here. That maid went down nice and fast. Getting a legendary skull at all, like Arclich, is really nice. It's just... it helps so much. You don't want to be exclusively relying on Rockstar anymore since the update. Beforehand, I could go all the way into the last part of Act 3 with Rockstar still, just as my dominant skull. But now, since all of the health increases and since a lot of the other little changes, especially to boss fights, it's like, no, I feel as though I need a big swing hitter, something powerful to help knock out some of these stronger enemies now. But we're clearing our way through nice and quick, and we are coming up on the second boss fight, the Lyanna sisters. Now, my strategy for this, this is where it all comes into play, because the Lyanna sisters got a pretty beefy health increase. They didn't actually get a health change when the Inscription update itself went live, but the little hotfix patch that came out shortly after did actually boost their health considerably. Previously, my strategy was I'm just going to burn one sister down as quickly as possible, and then I'll go into the band as the second phase starts, and she might die in 3 to 4 seconds before the update. It was amazing. Now, however, the single sisters and the second phase sister, they have enough health that they're not really going to go down that fast. So I'm kind of swapping in and out between Lich and Rockstar, keeping her in the corner, like I said, using my health as a resource. I'm not worried about dodging, I'm worried about bursting. I just need to get as much damage out as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, with the nature of the sisters fight being the most annoying fight for a speedrun, they move around a lot, and it can be hard to keep them sitting still. But, thankfully, we do manage to bring her down, and as you can see down there, my timer is just coming off now. There we go, look at that. Timed out beautifully. That's why I don't necessarily have an issue with using the band earlier, or when it's not a boss fight, rather, because it kind of works out now with the extra health bars. I'm still able to get the band out on the second phase. That Dark Wave dive attack that she does, if it lands square on you and you get hit by both sides of the wave at the same time, my god, it does some damage to you. That thing hurts. But regardless, she goes down, we get a bit of health back, and pick up our first quintessence, the Flame Dragon, which I almost never use. It's a really cool quintessence visually, but the stats on it, like 30% physical and 30% magical, it's like, that's not especially strong. I'm not too fussed on that whatsoever. But a quintessence is better than no quintessence. Activate it here, breathe some fire. Yeah, it worked. You kind of have to use it further away so the fire lands, but it worked out. Swap into Lich and do some big burst damage there with some skills. Use his icy attack. Bam. Down they all go. He is powerful. I'm really glad that I got Lich here. If not Lich, then Reaper. Reaper is probably the more optimal get just for clearing through rooms really quickly. And especially with this version of Lich, you want to get the one with Seal. If you can get a Lich with Seal, that's the optimal boss killer. You get the band going, you swap into Lich, you pop some Seal, blow the boss up. Feels good. Picking up Raven's Monarch Feather there, getting rid of the 11th Finger of Lightning after all this time. One of our starter items. Going to get rid of the armor. I'm not worried about defense. I'm worried about aggression. Pick up Medusa, get rid of the Flame Dragon. Was nice knowing you. But Medusa has 40% cooldown reduction, which means I can spam out my attacks a lot faster. But it also has the side benefit that with Rockstar, the outro skill, I believe it's called outro, the little electric slide attack right there. If I can be able to use that more, it's extra mobility because I'll use it to get around the screen faster, in addition to just being a damage increase. Now we have the Incense Burner, and we're going to get rid of, yes, the Hunter's Boots for that. It's about time. Medusa isn't a game-breaking use quintessence. It's not really like Shadow Knights or Weapon Master or even Archdemon, but being able to use your quintessence more is still good, especially Medusa. Slowing enemies down is a big help in some of these rooms, especially the bigger enemies that like to move around a lot. Arclich wiping out the rest of this room. Swap into Rockstar. Pick up the item. We have Infinite Bone. Getting rid of the axe, I believe, yes. Infinite Bone is kind of a game changer in speedruns. It's a bit like Sylphid Wings. It's one of those legendary items that you really want to get, because now we have a chance that my attacks will just instantaneously reset their cooldown. They don't go on cooldown at all, basically. And for Rockstar, that means you can potentially throw out as many as 4, 5, or 6, depending on your luck, amps during his burst phase. And when the rock band is playing, the amps pump faster and do more damage, so if you can get more amps out at the same time, it's just a big DPS boost. In addition to the Mage's Mana Bracelet that we have, which drastically lowers cooldowns as well every 8 times you use a skill, I think. Oh, we're just spamming skills at this point. Spamming skills, plus Medusa. We've got a lot going for us. Coming into the third Adventurer fight. This is largely just going to be keeping them bunched up as much as possible with the help of Raven Monarch Feather and burning them all down. Down goes the Archer Girl, and down goes the Sword Guy. Ninja, it's unfortunate that we got Ninja in this fight, because if it was just about any other hero, they would have stayed centered and not move around so much. But the band comes out, he goes down, and we pick up the Ceremonial Dagger. Obvious get. Grab Ceremonial Dagger, one of the best items in the game, and get rid of the Gunpowder Sword. Moving on, going into the last half of Act 3. Just as a side note, in regards to inscriptions, I don't think too many of the inscriptions are worth worrying about. I mean, it's a gamble going for something like Oberon in a speedrun, unless you just want to torment yourself with even more RNG. But upon thinking about it, I honestly do think that something like Necromancy would be a must-grab. Also because, oh, here's a nice little skip. Use Rockstar to get up there. Unfortunately, Raven Monarch Feather kinda screwed me by putting the Alchemist on the other side of that wall. but we can get rid of him without having to go all the way around, because if I go down to the bottom floor, we'll end up summoning extra enemies. Now, the summoners did bring out the big golem guy. I'm not going to worry about him. There we go. Raven Monarch finished off this summoner on the other side. Big golem guy does not have to be killed. He is not a necessary kill. We can move on and leave him there. But as I was saying, Necromancy, I think even just one in Necromancy is enough to really power up a run, let alone if you can get 2 or 3. But in addition to that, the items themselves, like the Demonomicon, Dark Spirit Shade, and the Dark Priest Robe, less the robe, but more the other two, are also just in general very powerful items. You'll find that a lot of the better inscriptions in the game are also tied to some of the best items in the game. So it often goes hand in hand that, oh, that's a no-brainer, I'm taking that. Just like we have here in the shop, we have Master Fighter. I'm not at all worried about what it has on it as far as inscriptions are concerned. I'm grabbing it. Also got to grab Raven Lord, which is the best magic boosting quintessence in the game. Since we have Arclich, it's going to give us a big fat power up to the damage we do with that. And I also picked up the Broken Mana Engine. And if you remember me saying about my cooldown reduction, Broken Mana Engine further reduces that by 30%. And I'm dropping the parts on the ground that automatically reduce my cooldown even further when I pick them up. So there's a lot of cooldown manipulation going on right now. Unintended, I did get rid of Medusa, but, you know, picking up Broken Mana Engine kind of compensates for that in a way. A lot of cooldown manipulation coming into this big summon room here. There have been some mistakes in Act 3 that I haven't really mentioned, but they're there, where I kind of second guess whether or not I've killed all the enemies, or second guess the spawning of some enemies. I'm often going a little too quick and not stopping to really think and consider about where enemies are and how to place them. For example, right there, I thought that those little guys were going to spawn more bunched up into one corner, but they were kind of spread out. That's just me forgetting the layout of the enemies. I haven't done this in a while, and my rustiness is showing, but nonetheless, it's still a good run. Getting Wind Armor at the start, very good luck. Moving into the Chimera fight. Now, coming into the start of this, the Rock Band is not off cooldown, it's got some time left, but I'm not especially worried about that because Chimera got a sizable health increase as well, and even if I got the band going right at the start of the fight, unlike in the old patch before Inscriptions, it wouldn't die that fast anyway. It's going to take some time to die even with the band, and you'll see that once I get the band going. So this is kind of a legitimate fight. A fast fight, mind you, but still very legitimate. The only thing that I'm kind of not doing at all is avoiding damage. Now, the band got summoned there while she was off screen. Unfortunate. I tried to time Raven Lord to catch her as she came back, and a funny bug has kind of occurred where she has slowed down and basically stopped moving for a bit there. I don't know if you caught that. You can go back and watch it. But her poison spray barely came out and she kind of just delayed. I don't know what that was. If you know what that was, let me know. And a bit of a graphical bug there. The hero was basically standing on top of me when he cut my head. The pillar is still on screen. But there we have it. 1748. A couple of bugs to show off, but boom, there's the run. That's probably the best time I've gotten since the Inscription update. If I factor in a lot of the mistakes that I made and a lot of the hesitation, you could bring it down a bit closer to maybe 1720 or something like that. But I have definitely not broken the 17-minute range since the update. But anyway, it was a good run nonetheless. And I certainly hope you enjoyed. I know I did. But yes, give a follow to my Twitter and check out my Twitch if you're interested. With that all said and done, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.